Alrighty, hello everyone. Welcome back. Boeing fan 727 here with you guys. Coming at you today with another live stream of the Monroe and Neely and Gulf. I had to change the name up a little bit because we just had a bit of a, I wouldn't say an argument or a disagreement. We just had a bit of a discussion about the name of the line between Sean and I. And where this line is located. We are actually basing it in a state or two. It will be the line will be based in Mississippi and Alabama. Alabama, sir. What are you two brothers? We are not in any relation, sir. Anyways, so kind of a deep south railroad, more or less. But as you can see, I've been doing some work since you guys have last been here. I've gotten a fair bit of progress done because last time we did this, I don't remember where I left off, and I don't remember how far I got. But I've gotten... let me just zoom out here real quick while my computer's fan is revving up. As you can see, I kind of got a very... I got a few miles in. I'd say just running a quick Amtrak run down the line. I got about 7-ish miles of track, mainline track, and it kind of runs alongside the main river here. The main river is called the Cahokia River. And actually, I gotta widen this river. This river needs to be a little bit wider. And I do want to rework this river too, because I want the river to have more a more Mississippi-esque look to it, with the curviness of a big kind of wide Midwestern, river and stuff. So I need to widen this river up, especially in parts like here and right in front of Monroe and over here by the bridge. And over here is decent. It's respectively wide, but I need to widen it. And over here, over here by the bridge, I don't mind it being about this wide. So. Let me see, I need to access my chat, because I haven't even taken a look at that, and I'm assuming there might be someone here. Hello, Nate the Game, or Nate Gamer. Welcome to the channel. It's a new face, never seen you here before, so welcome if you're a first-time streamer. Pardon my sniffing, my allergies are still kicking my butt, per usual. But yeah, so I got some good work in since you guys were last here, and I'm pretty happy with it. So I'll go in and show you guys kind of the basic stuff I've done. So before we move along with today's episode, there's a train there, and I don't want this here. Kind of been placing down some signals. This area has not changed. Oh, there is a repetitive signal right here. So I don't think I showed you guys on the last stream, but I did a little work with this bridge, added in some of these pillars with this YR bridge that I love right here. I love this bridge. Forget this plate girder bridge. Yeah, I believe this is a plate girder bridge. Actually, I need to raise this up to accommodate both bridges. There we go. And I haven't fixed this side of the bridge yet, but I need to fix it to have the plate girder. And then I need to go through with all the piers. Or I'll just go through with the YN actual girder set and just use its stock kind of piers and whatnot. Not sure what I'm going to do yet, but do need to update this side. So I really haven't done much over here. Just still kind of this bridge is the same. I got a boat. Had to raise the bridge's height to allow the boat to go under the bridge. American flag. More signal placement down over here. Nothing changed from last time. Come around the bend. got this train station. I picked this as the train station for Monroe. Very nice. I like that. I like the look of this station. Very, very nice double track Amtrak station. I do have some CN trains. Let me see. I'll just kind of show you real quick. I have some CN cars. Actually, my best CN stuff is get the SD40. Let me see. If we go down here, I got some more. Yeah, I got an SD60. I don't have a whole lot of CN stuff. To say the least. Didn't know I had that. Okay. Let me see. I know I got a few other. I have a slew of these GP38-2s. But regardless, yeah, I got some CN stuff. Hey David, how you doing? Yeah, I don't know what the other part of it is, but yeah. So anyway, so yeah, I got CN related stuff. But this right now is downtown Monroe. This is the big-ish city. I would say our bigger city, one of our biggest cities. Here on the line, the line actually does terminate in a real town, Mobile, Alabama, as that's right on the Gulf Shore, and that's kind of the big port town down there. So I'm not going to be modeling Mobile because I did not want to do anything real whatsoever. But after some deliberation with Sean, because this is his line too, and I can't just go ahead. This is a British police station. Oh, well, I'll mask that somewhere in the background because I kind of like the look of this police station. Because this is also Sean's railroad. This is a project that him and I are both doing. Obviously, yes, I started it, but that doesn't mean, to me, that doesn't mean jack squat. This is my project with him, so I still have to take into consideration what would he like to see from the line. So he'll be modeling that. So yeah, this is kind of just the basic work right now that I've gotten done on downtown Monroe. Skyline's very small town, kind of just anywhere in America, really, or small city. I'm sorry, not small town, small city. I mean, cities. Even small cities will have taller buildings, but no real kind of, I don't know, that key skyscraper really, like you'd see in not really. St. Louis has obviously the Gateway Arch, but let's see, Springfield, Illinois, or Columbia, Missouri, or something like that, or something to the equivalent, or West Lafayette, Indiana. I lived there for a summer. My mom's fiance, my friend's uncle. We lived in West Lafayette, Indiana. Purdue University, Boilermakers. I actually have a buddy who's going to school there now. But yeah, no, Lafayette had I would say if you take maybe here on this building and just chop it off, well, the top, anything above that point, chop it off, that would probably be the tallest building in Lafayette. But still, I mean, no real kind of poignant building in these towns. Nothing like, oh yeah, that's that building's from da 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 da. No, wouldn't be able to tell. So, but kind of going for this older St. Louis look. Hey, that's great. I'm glad to hear your girlfriend's coming down for Christmas. But kind of this older St. Louis look. Do have a Budweiser building, which is kind of cool. Because obviously Budweiser is in St. Louis, so So yeah, so we'll push on just real quick past Monroe. Gonna have a main avenue kind of cross right here, and I'll probably have maybe I want to have another crossing, probably back up through here. I'll probably have a slew of crossings back up through there. Then no real crossing down here. Now this bridge, now don't mind that bridge. I just kind of put that bridge in for a minute. I believe that's a road bridge. Yeah, I haven't really done anything with this, so. Oh, excuse me. Yawn. So this big bridge right here, going up this steep grade to clear this river. It's not really a pretty bridge, I'd say, but it's a bridge. Comes across the Cahokia River, which is what I named it. Comes down into the one of the main yards of this line, and I kind of like the way this yard turned out. It's kind of curving along and whatnot, and just kind of a big, just a big yard, really. Got a couple of industries right here. Got a dairy, and I got a just a general warehouse. It's a jointed rail warehouse, obviously, since it's details very nice. The Calvin screw and bolt supply. It's just kind of basic supply. Hey, Approach Media, welcome to the stream. So yeah, pretty happy with how this yard is turning out. I haven't finished it yet. Got to get a small engine service area right here. Then have a space, or this is the engine maintenance facility. And then I want to have one more track. I think maybe come off from here to go maybe to have an area for some engines to park or something. Or I don't know what I want to do for that. But I'll wait and see. Got 6 people watching, not bad. So yeah, and like I said, this is the yard. This is the let me see. These tracks right here on the left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tracks over here are for just car storage and sorting and whatnot. I got 2 kind of runaround tracks right here, or through tracks, or whatever you want to call them. And then I got arrival and departure tracks. I got 4 of them over here. Be respectively long, at least to hold a good sized train. So that's the yard. So we'll fly back over the bridge. It's a very ugly looking bridge, and I've never really found these bridges out here to look nice, so kind of just capturing the area. So on the main line, come down through here, pass under this signal, have a crossing right here. I'm gonna have like a thanks. Yeah, I really was trying my hardest to get just a large Midwestern yard. I looked at several yards and just kind of got a feel for what a Midwestern yard looks like. And actually, while I'm right here, I need to fix one of these. Start on 0. Hopefully that was for the right one. Okay, good. So yeah, I have a kind of a road coming here, and this will be some lower, very, very low income housing right up through here, all densely packed in. This will be kind of like a slums, more or less. Around the corner, I have an Amtrak parked on the tracks. He's just chilling here. Track veers right. We have a coal power plant right here alongside the river. So we'll have some kind of just coal operation right here, basic coal drop-off for use for the power mill or the power plant. So just have a line of coal cars right there. So we round the corner. I haven't put any water in. The river just magically disappears. Kind of just follow along the river, meander along, follow its curves. Got a nice big curve here, and then we end at the train station for Calverton Park. This train station has to change because the name on the side of it, right here, Edwinsville, doesn't want to change to say Calverton Park. So gonna have to change the station out. Sadly, I like the way this station looks. In my mind, it kind of just fit the area very well. But we'll have to change it. is what it is. So yeah, so that's just kind of the line for right now. That's the progress I got. I actually had to rip this track out the other night because talking to my BNSF buddy at work, he was telling me about some of the lines that he's driven down because I was asking him for some advice on, just, kind of basic line design, really. If he was to do it, which he wouldn't do it himself for any given reason, but if he were to be doing this project, if he was me, how would he do it? And he was telling me about this subdivision he would run down. I forget what it is. It's I forget which one it was, and I remember he was saying it follows down this little river, and it pretty much follows it curve for curve, except for like a few kind of hairpin curves where the railroad just kind of bypasses along. But for the most part, it's it just kind of follows alongside the river. So I didn't really capture that up here too well. And then of course further down the line, I'd already worked the track in before I put the river in. So, the track was going over here and having curves, and the river's in the same spot it is right now, so I had the track way over here and doing its thing, and I was trying to curve it in to come back alongside the river. I'm like, you know what? I did get a lot of work done, but I want to rip it all up and try again. So, like I said, I apologize for my sniffing, guys. I'm just really allergied up. I'm waiting for my medicine to kick in. But so, yeah. So, anyway, so we're going to probably sit up here in Monroe today and get this town kind of in order. I want to get this town kind of, the basic feel for this town done up. And I also want to do both sides of the track because there will be like a couple of things over here. I'm going to put the gateway arch. No, you're not. So yeah, I want to do that today. Maybe put like try maybe work in a park over here or something. But I want to move this river, widen it, make it a little bit closer to the tracks. And I need to work this bridge out real quick because I'm trying to recreate St. Louis the best I can, or the feel of St. Louis. And there's a highway that comes along into St. Louis. I think it's 64. If you're familiar with St. Louis, or if you want to look on a map, go right to downtown St. Louis. And if you're looking at this, per se the Gateway Arch, to the south of the Gateway Arch, there's a highway. I believe it's Highway 64. It's a multitude of highways. Honestly, it's a very confusing interchange on the Illinois side before you cross the bridge. But there's a kind of a very, very basic. It looks like this. Very, very basic bridge. It's 2 or 3 lanes either side. And then when you get to the Missouri side, right before you hit Busch Stadium where the Cardinals play, the eastbound portion of the highway goes down a little bit and sinks under the westbound portion. So I'm trying to do that, and I actually need to raise this up some because this is the height I was setting to make sure I clear my 89 or my excessive height cars. And as you see here on this auto rack, we have more than enough clearance. Yes, don't you know I'm playing City Skylines Approach? I mean, come on, can't you see the city skyline? Okay, hold on. Can't you see the city skyline right there? So yeah, we're playing City Skylines. Deal with it, bro. I was actually kind of thinking about City Skylines today. I would love to play City Skylines because I've been Trainz Skylines. But I was actually looking at City Skylines today, and like I said, I always scroll through the workshop and see what assets are out, and I miss playing it. But the only thing is I don't want to buy that I mean, it's not that I don't want to buy; is I can't buy that DLC, Mass Transit DLC that they had come out. Hey, Chicago, how you doing, man? Because one, I don't have the money, and it's not something I need. But at the same time, it's like I really want it because I would love to play a game that I love playing and whatnot. But it sucks because I don't have the money. I don't have the money to do so. Freaking allergies, man. Now, hopefully, it won't do what I think it's going to do. Awesome, it didn't do what I think it was going to do. Now, it might look weird what I'm doing, but give me 1 second. School. Wait, today's Tuesday. Why are you starting school on a Wednesday? I have never understood that. What is the point of starting school like middle of the week? It's like, at that point, just wait till next week. Oh, my brother, I think, was this year or last year? I can't remember what year it was, but he started school, his first day of school was on a Friday. And I'm like, at that point, why? They went on a Friday, and I think the following day was Labor Day, so they had a 3-day weekend anyway. So I'm like, what's the point? I will never understand this school. This is why I don't go to school anymore. Partly because I also graduated, but at the same time, this is why I don't bother with school. Waste of my time. So, speaking of don't bother, well, I don't know how it pertains to that. But anyways, it's a story I want to tell you guys, so you're going to listen. So, woke up this morning. Takes me a long time to get moving because it's my day off. And I should actually be at a junkyard right now looking for parts for my Crown Victoria because not bashing my car or anything, but we all know what the Crown Victoria is and what it does and who it's served with. So, generally speaking, they seem to be disappearing at a quicker rate than French fries at McDonald's. So, I'm just assuming that most junkyards, and especially this junkyard, because it's rather large, has potentially a Crown Victoria laying around somewhere in it, or multiple Crown Victorias. So I wanted to see if I couldn't find any headlights that are in better condition than my own, because there is a new set on eBay that I was looking at, but I told my girlfriend when I bought this car, oh yeah, I can find all sorts of parts in junkyard and whatnot, it's cheap, and then all of a sudden here I am, and I'm like, oh, I need headlights, and she's like, well, you can buy some. I'm like, yeah, I was gonna get some brand new. She's like, and you sat there and told me, that you could get parts, cheaply from a junkyard, and yeah, it wasn't a big deal, but it was just like, she thought it was just a gimmick to let her think to let me buy the car. Anyways, not the point. So I should be at the junkyard right now. I really don't want to go because I'm just bleh. So I figured I'd stream. So I'm just kind of laying around in bed. Hashtag lies. It's not a lie. There are Crown Victorias and junkyards. I'm sure there are a version of whatever you drive. I don't know what you drive. I know you've told me what you driven or drove or drive, but yeah, well, please don't tell her I'm streaming. Anyways, I'm gonna go to the junkyard eventually. I'm just not gonna go right now. But anyhow, if you're giving my mother approach, so I'm kind of just laying around in bed and whatnot. I'm just chilling at that point. And so I get up and I have a dad car. Oh no. Oh no, you poor man. I can already imagine. Nah. I figured you'd have like a really cool car. Like a... Okay, alright, cool. I'm like, oh no, he has like a minivan. But anyhow, here's one thing. Why can't I straighten out this spline? Am I able to do so? No. Violently click until it happens. And that's frustrating because it's... Just want you to work the first time. Oh, that's a corner and a half. So I kind of, sit up, and I'm just kind of sitting there for a minute, because to put it into perspective, yesterday I went to work, and I mean, some of you might not see my issue here because you'll be like, what's the problem? But I went to work yesterday, and all of this is relative. All of this is relative. I wish you could elevate items in Trainz Mobile. Oh, you can't do that. That sucks. Okay, it's really going to bother me. I don't want this bridge to be curvy the whole way up, and I got to sneeze. Oh, God. Oh, that cleared the sinuses up. So I walked into work yesterday, and I punched in and whatnot, and then I looked next to the time clock, and there was this nice little sheet saying training. I'm like, what does that mean? So then I'm looking at the names and whatnot, and whose name happens to be on that list but mine? So I'm like, okay, so I'm training today. It's just recurrent training and whatnot, and you do it every year. So I get down in the training room and whatnot, and I sat in there for my whole 8-hour shift, talking, bored out of my mind, pretty much just going over stuff I know and I do every freaking day of my life, guy. Okay, that's really going to bug me, but I guess we're going to have to live with it. So, hello, Mr. White. Welcome to the channel, or the stream, or whatever this is, this madhouse. So, come home, like I say, go to bed. I'm just kind of tired, lazy, and bleh. So, I wake up, sitting there in bed, just kind of thinking, all right, what's the game plan for the day? What's the game plan? So, I'm just kind of just look around and look on the wall right above where my head sits. And what do I see hanging out right above where my head sits? A giant wood spider. Now, for those of you who might not know, I'm an arachnophobe. I don't like spiders. I'm terrified of spiders, actually. Like, if you were to give me an option to dispose of a spider, in the sense of, let's just per se, a paper in a cup, or a Vietnam-era flame-throwing tank, I would more than likely choose the tank over the, cup with a spider, or the paper underneath, because that, no, you don't put your hand under the spider with a thin piece of paper. You just don't do that. I mean, the spider could tear through the paper and then bite your hand. Next thing you know, you're web slinging around New York, and let's just face it, I mean, that's horrible. The New York part, no, I'm just kidding. Sorry, Approach. I just had to crap on New York. It's not my favorite place. I was crapping on Boston all this week, so it's just, yeah, sorry. Anyways, so it's gross. It's like, and it was above my head. Yeah, dead spiders are still creepy. They could pop back to life, man. Like, you don't know what, yeah, it's gross. So it's just like, I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, that thing was above my head all morning long, and I didn't even know it. Like, I feel violated, honestly. Like, I feel like that spider was really creeping on me all morning long. And I feel very, very, very hurt by this spider. So I'm like, all right, well, what are my options here? No one's home. No one can take care of it. What do I do? I can't go crying to my girlfriend, babe, there's a spider in my room, because that's weak. But I normally do anyways. So just sitting there, kind of just, like I said, still lazing around at this point, but I'm just trying to think, what are my options? So I'm going to think there might be some sort of spray in this house. Yeah, he was sizing me up. He was sizing me up all morning, and I didn't even know it. So I go out into the garage, and I grab some insect killer. Now, mind you, this insect killer it says outdoor use only, but I'm done at this point. I'm like, you know what? Outdoor, indoor, it's all relative, right? So going back in my room, and I'm like, all right, well, he's gonna die. There's no way about it. He's gonna die. It's just kind of a natural fact right now. The dude's dead. You know, his days are numbered. So I'm sizing him up now. You know, he's been sizing me up all morning. It's my turn. So I'm sitting there and I'm like, all right, well, I can't kill him yet. I gotta get some good music on because I gotta vibe to this. So I pull on Pantera 5 Minutes Alone, which if you've never heard it, go just take a listen real quick. Listen to like the first 30 seconds. You'll understand. And if you like it, listen to the whole thing. I like Pantera. I like metal. Metal's cool. So I kind of pull my. Yeah, I kind of did because one, I wasn't in any hurry. I mean, he wasn't really going anywhere. I mean, if he figured, you know what, if he figured he was there, between 1:30 in the morning and let's see, it's 11:30. I just woke up at 9:30, 10 o'clock. I woke up at 9:30, about 9:30, 9:45. It took me until about 10:20, I would say, maybe, I forget. 10:20 to kind of, kill this thing. So I did take my time. But I knew he wasn't going anywhere. And all my walls in my bedroom are white, and it's this giant black spider, so I kind of figure it would be hard to lose this thing. So that being said, I get my music on. I pull my bed out of the way. I'm like, all right, well, I don't want to lose him if he falls. So I'm going to pull my bed out of the way. So in case he does, I know where he is. And I move all my sheets and whatnot so he can't, possibly fly off the wall onto the bed and hide under my sheets, and then I have to go burn my bed and burn my sheets because my sheets are comfy. But so I get up there and like I said, I got my music going. I'm feeling pretty BA, and I spray this guy, and of course his first instinct is to run. So he runs, and he kind of falls. He falls. I'm thinking, all right, good. He's fallen to his death. That's cool. It's always cool. And he hits like the top, the frame around my closet, the door frame. The very top of it has like a little ledge that sticks out. A very little ledge. He probably would have bounced off of it. So he kind of like flew and hit the ledge, but I expected him to be on the ledge or on the floor somewhere, just anywhere. So I'm like, all right, cool, he's dead. Or, he's slowly suffocating to death, which is always cool too. Slowly suffocating, that's always great. And, I can already hear PETA on this video, like, you are so cruel to spiders, you should die. Well, spiders are weird. But anyways, so I work, I'm feeling like pretty awesome about myself. I did it. I didn't scream like a little girl. I'm awesome. So I stand up on the very edge of my bed opposite the spider to see, is he up on that ledge? Not on the ledge. I'm like, all right, well, he's probably on the floor dead. So I look down on the floor and I look under my bed and I look behind the bureau and I'm like, no spider. So I, quickly look on the ledge again and I look in obvious places at this point, and I'm looking for this spider, which, I know, of course, when I see him, I'm going to jump like 15 feet out of my head, but I'm looking for this spider because he ain't there. He's not there. He's nowhere. I can't find him. I can't find his dead, stupid body, and I have no clue where he went. I was going to live stream in my bed because it's my room, but I'm actually in my girlfriend's room, sitting very far away from the door. But yeah, so I don't know where this spider went, and I don't know if I'm sleeping in my room tonight. Yeah, no, I'm very, 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 I guess upset's a word. Because, yeah, he's still at large. He's like a freaking criminal on the loose. You can't just, like, not be okay with not knowing where he is. I mean, he's out there. He's mocking me. He is totally 100% mocking me, and I just screwed up that road, didn't I? Yes, I did. He is 100% mocking me right now. Like, he is out there, probably at some spider bar, sitting there, probably just got released from the spider hospital because I just sprayed him with, like, insect killer. Of course, it was flying insect killer, but I just wanted enough to where, it would still probably suffocate him because... Or was it insect killer? Flying insect killer? I don't know. It was large insect killer. We're just going to go with it. I at least wanted, I put on my shoes and stuff. Oh, I also forgot to mention that. I put on my shoes just so when the body would hit the floor, so I would be able to stomp him because I'm not doing that with my hand. I'm not going to screw that. But yeah, so I don't know where he is. He's probably at the, like I said, he's at the spider bar being like, yeah, some more. He's like talking to all his little spider buddies and whatnot. And he is totally... Well, I mean, in my defense, I lost all my energy. I feel like garbage this morning and whatnot. I mean, I can clearly see you're freaking out in close to Rochester, New York. Just... Yeah, no, I'm not in my room. We're good. We're gonna go burn that later. I texted my girlfriend, hey, I had a spider over my head this morning, so that was like the first like almost hour of me being awake was just dealing with this spider on my day off too. I'm like, I've worked all week long to get to this one day, and like and yesterday wasn't hard. I was in a training room all day, but just to wake up this morning and have to deal with that. I know, first world problems, but it's pretty, yeah. Mrs. Approach Medium told me she found a big leg in her bed the other day. No, it's gross because when I lived in Maine, not to be weird, but how my bed is set up. I need to drink this Pepsi before it goes flat. Hold on. Nothing like lukewarm Pepsi that's been open for 45 minutes. That's just starting to go flat, but still retains most of its carbonation. Talk about Trainz. Well, I will, but that's kind of if you don't know the stream too much, generally just talk about life because I love Trainz. Don't get me wrong. I love Trainz and I love building and doing things with Trainz, but I also like to talk about things that are just going on in life. Things that are going on at work. I work for an airline, but you can only talk about Trainz so much before you kind of run out of content. So I will talk about Trainz. I'll talk about what I'm doing here in a minute, but I do like to talk about life. Hey, Tyler, how you doing? But, so yeah, so what was I talking about anyways? Oh yeah, living in Maine. So how my bed is set up, and it's still sort of set up the same way, is I have a giant sleeping bag. Trainz paint shed. There's a paint shed? Didn't know there was a paint shed for Trainz. I have a big flannel sleeping bag from LL Bean that I sleep on. Conway, New Hampshire? Of course, there's probably only one Conway in this whole country, but I do have to ask. Side note, does anyone know of any pillar that would work for a double stack freeway? Because I mean, I have this underneath this one, and I don't know if the height's going to work. Conway, PA. I just had to ask because, like I said, I didn't know there was a Conway, Pennsylvania. So, because I'm not from there. So yeah, so let me, before I forget my story, so, okay, I'll have to go download that later. Yeah, I guess this works. So, when I was moving, how I slept, I was in a basement, and the basement was unheated, and it had, I was right next to the bulkhead, or the bulkhead door was on the other side of my half wall. I had a half wall in the basement, and then there was a window a distance from the bulkhead door, and the window was would not shut all the way. I mean, it would shut almost the full way, but it just wouldn't go like 100% of the way. It would go like maybe like 99% of the way. So a lot of cold air in the wintertime would sneak in through that window. So how I slept in my basement bedroom, I mean, average temperature in the wintertime in my bedroom, let me see. Trying to recall off the head. I mean, average temperature in my basement bedroom in the wintertime was probably like 50-ish degrees, maybe. I mean, there were some nights that I do remember it was freezing down there. There was actually, I remember I stirred one in the middle of the night once, and I'm breathing because I'm a human, and yeah, I could see my breath in my bedroom. So I just imagine it was very, very cold. Either that, or my breath was very, very warm. But how my bed was set up was when I lived in West Lafayette, I had I had two bed spreads or whatever. I had two big sheets, and of course, to rotate out. So I used both of those large comforters and whatnot. So I had the sleeping bag. The sleeping bag was closed, so I had the flannel sleeping bag, two large comforters, and then kind of like blankets that you would take out to kind of use on the couch, big blankets like that. I had two of those. I had about like a bajillion pillows, and I had I had my mattress. My sister had to move out of her apartment to go to North Carolina, so all her stuff came home. So I had my mattress on top of her mattress on top of her box spring. So I had a lot of cush. That bed was comfy. And how I would sleep was I'd have like a shirt and a sweater, and I'd pull the hood up over my head, pull the strings closed and tie them, and pull just about all the sheets up over my head, just enough to leave my nose exposed so I could obviously breathe. And that's how I would sleep. And my mom always wondered why I was late to school, because if you would sleep on that thing, of course in the cold basement, but if you'd sleep on that, it was heaven. Absolute heaven. And I miss it so much because it was just so awesome and comfy. And I mean, that's probably the most soundest sleep I've ever gotten in my life. Now, also, growing up in Maine, it's just all woods. That's all the state is. It's just one big forest. So, trying to like work and talk here, and it's just not working on most days. But most people sleep with like a fan or just some sort of background noise running. No, complete and utter silence. And I did this when I was home alone in the summertime. Was just complete and utter silence. Just dead silent. No one home. And I kind of also preferred it that way because if anyone decided to break in, living in the basement, I heard everything. I heard I heard all the footsteps upstairs and whatnot. I heard all the floorboards creaking. I mean, hell, I even heard the mice running about upstairs on the floor. You could hear the little pitter-patter on the floorboards of the mice. But yeah, I loved it. But when I was moving, obviously I got to bring all my stuff with me, and I couldn't bring my mattress because at the time I didn't have my Crown Victoria, my big old boat car. I had the car I drove before that was a 1998 Subaru Legacy GT, and that car was awesome. Except it was really tiny too. So it was a really awesome car, but it was really freaking tiny. But it got all my stuff fit in that car. The back seat folded down. I got all my stuff that I needed, except my mattress, which I'm bummed about. I couldn't bring that mattress. And that mattress is comfy as hell. But Trainz has Maine, Conway Scenic Railroad. Yeah, I've seen some layouts of Maine and whatnot. I know someone has the Portland terminal or whatnot. It's an all right representation. It's a very it's a compressed model. It's definitely not to scale, but it's all right. I'm actually gonna widen this up. I want this street with the sidewalks. I just don't know why the side note. I don't know why these yarn roads are so high up above the base, whatnot. Never understood that, but it is what it is. But yeah, so I took all my blankets off the bed and then began to roll up the sleeping bag and get the sleeping bag off the bed, and come back, and all my room's all packed up, ready to go, and I'm looking on the bed, and I see this thing. It's all crushed. It's dead. It's 100% dead. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I kind of look closely at it, and I identify what the heck it is. It's a wolf spider. A big old wolf spider. Wow, these are old. Make them thick to count our floating roads. But yeah, no, that was a wolf spider that apparently had crawled under my sleeping bag one night or before I'd gotten home or whenever. And of course, I'd gone to bed and just crushed it. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, I've been sleeping on that this whole time. Ew. Yeah, it was gross. I was glad to be leaving because otherwise I wouldn't have been able to sleep down the stairs. For the second time in my life. Not because the first time was not because of a spider. First time was because of an earthquake, but main have steam locomotives. Not that I recall off the top of my head. Because I grew up in Maine. I don't recall seeing any steam locomotives in active service up there, or in any sort of service up there. I don't know I don't think the Conway Scenic Railroad has any down in New Hampshire. I know there are up in the woods somewhere in Maine. There's an old railroad. Hold on, I gotta take a sip of my soda. Up in the woods somewhere in Maine, there's a pair of abandoned steam locomotives that are just there. They're just there. That's it. They don't have a purpose. They're just abandoned. And I forget what the railroad's called. I know I shared a photo with I believe Approach here. I shared a photo with him on Skype of it. Just kind of an interesting tidbit that I thought that I had found one night and wanted to share with him, just for the hell of it. But yeah. Other than that, I don't. No, Maine does not have any steam locomotives of any kind. I mean, yeah, back in the day, way back in the day, but nope, not that I can recall. I know we have a Polar Express train that runs in the Christmas time. Does really well. A lot of big turnout for the kids and whatnot. But now I think they're using a Pan Am locomotive or something, because I've seen it roll through once in my life when I was down in Old Orchard Beach, Maine, and yeah, I want to say they were using a Pan Am locomotive or a 2-foot railroad. Give me a second here. Two. Hold on 1 second. Booth Bay Railway Village is operating. Bridgeton and Saco River Railroad, defunct. Eustis defunct. Franklin and Mechanic, defunct. Yeah, there's a museum. It's operating. Sandy River Rangeley and Lakes Railroad. Yeah, it's mostly all for historical purposes in terms of that 2-foot railroad. They don't have a practical use or anything other than that. I do know what you're talking about now. Do remember seeing signs for a narrow gauge for the narrow gauges and whatnot. I just forget they exist because it's not high on the list of things for me to do or view or all that great stuff. But yeah, there's no practical or yeah, the big word I'm trying to say, practicality. Sure. For the 2-foot railroads nowadays, I know they served a purpose back then, but yeah, no, they don't serve a purpose in Maine anymore, other than rail fanning, which you may consider a purpose. I do not. It's neither a waste or it's neither a purpose. It's just there. That's all it is. I mean, would it be cool to ride on a 2-foot narrow gauge railroad? I suppose. I don't know why they ever needed to make it that narrow in the first place, but we can see which one was the more practical of the two, I suppose. But enough of that. Just trying to get some base road layout, and I'm thinking more of a grid. St. Louis is very, very much a grid in the downtown area. So I'm just trying to get a basic grid design. And I prefer these streets, and I see a lot of streets like these in St. Louis, where I'm sure at one point, they did have the dividing lines of the roads, but they don't anymore, or choose not to for simplicity's sake, or something along those lines. There's no real rhyme or reason to why there's no lines on the roads, but I've definitely noticed in urban areas on a lot of the urban side streets, and even on some of the urban main roads that aren't necessarily a four-lane avenue. They don't really have lines. I've noticed that a lot in Midwestern cities, a lot of neglect for the roads. So you'll generally see roads kind of like this, and definitely more beat up. And it kind of gives this definitely a dark, or this very light gray look with a lot of the, you can see these darker sections right here where cars have driven. It definitely gives the more worn look to it and whatnot. But I prefer that. Steamtown, USA from New Hampshire. Not familiar with that one. Although, like I said, I do know the Conway Scenic Railroad. That's just the big one. That's a given. If you don't know the Conway Scenic Railroad, I'm trying to get my words to form. And if you're from New England and you don't know about it, yeah. How can you call yourself a New Englander? But no, I don't think. Maybe I did when I was younger and don't remember. But I don't recall ever riding the Conway Scenic Railroad, which is a shame. I think I would have liked to. It's the old mountain division for the Maine Central, and I heard you can go quite a way. It takes a little while to do it. I think scenic railways are always cool to ride along. There's quite a few I'd like to do. I'd like to do the that one approach, the one that Approach knows about, or volunteered at and took photos for the Catskill. I can't remember the name. I'd have to go back to one of your streams, but something with the Catskill. But no, I mean, and then out here in Illinois, I don't know of any scenic railroads. I don't really think those are a thing out here. Catskill Mountain Railroad, that's right. Main Central 470 is being restored. Yeah. I say Main 470 has been sitting up in Waterville for a long time. Famous Main Central Alco 4-6-2, number 470, the last steam locomotive to pull a mech passenger train in 1954. Now rests in Waterville, Maine. Still up in Waterville, Maine. Important piece of Maine history. But yeah, it naturally needs to be restored over the years. I mean, sits there. All the thing does is just sit up there and rot and decay, because it's just sitting out there. But that stop sign going to be hidden. Yep. Back this building up then. But yeah, I generally don't keep up with what's going on in the railroading world. I just kind of do my thing here. And like I said, I work for the airlines, so that's generally my cup of tea on a daily basis is the airlines. I'm just an airline guy with a train problem. That's all I am. So what about Trainz paint shed? You keep saying it, so I'm sure there's something about it you'd like to speak about or something. So yeah, just trying to gather my thoughts here, just trying to think if I was in the middle of a story or finishing a story or something along those lines. Nope, I was not. So yeah, we are just here, kind of putting in some roads, doing the town. I haven't got much done. Thinking about putting in some buildings and extending down this way and getting this, because I think this avenue is going to come along. What I want this avenue to do, I want it to kind of come here, maybe jog right, and then come through town over here. So it can deliver all the trap. Oh god, I'm choking. Bleh. Sorry, just dying on you guys. That's okay. That's alright, it happens. So I think that's what we're going to do is work this avenue in from down here. So we'll drag it out a little ways. Love this crossing. 3 tracks. Yeah, I don't even recall ever using Paint Shed, because I've only ever used Tane. I'm assuming that's probably older versions and whatnot. Oh, did I discuss in the last stream the roster for the MNNG, this railroad here I'm working on? I don't know if I did or not. And if I didn't, I got it revised, so I know what we're going to be using and whatnot. Paint Shed is stupid old. Well, you know it's old when it's stupid. Oh God. He's using old numbers, such as the '06 and the '04. Well, hell, my car's an '09, so putting it into perspective. UTC before numbers were a thing. Yeah, if it was before numbers, that's really that's ancient. Yeah, so like I said, I've only ever used Tane. This is the only train simulator I've ever had. Um, remember there was a store in my hometown called Gore Micro. It's a computer store, and they mostly sold Apple products back in the day. But they had a train simulator in there. I can't remember what train simulator it was. I want to say it was. Want to say. I can't remember off the top of my head, and I don't think I ever will, unless I saw the cover. It was really old. I know that for sure. But thing I wanted it so bad because you could build your own route basically. You know, and that was kind of the things it advertised on the back of it was you could build your own route, and I wanted to do it. Of course, I don't imagine what kind of route I would have built at the time because I was probably like 6 or 7. I'm sure it would have been garbage, but yeah, they had that in there. They had one of the old NASCAR Heat games, that like the NASCAR Heat Evolution. Or all right, man, we'll be here. We'll be right here. We ain't going nowhere. Yeah, I so badly wanted it, but my mom would never get it for me. Not I couldn't ask her to get it for me. That was one of the things about growing up was my mom taught us that you know there are things in life that we want, but we necessarily can't have. And when we go to a store, we cannot ask for things because we may not be the fact that you don't deserve it, but it could be about the fact that you don't need it right now. And it's not polite to ask for something unless of course, if it's your birthday coming up, or you can say, hey, I really want that, but you know um, the answer was generally always, Christmas is coming, and that was it. That was it. End of story. It's perfectly fine. That's the way I grew up. But there were a lot of times where she would tell us, and we kind of knew, me and my sister growing up, just generally don't ask. But my mom would generally tell us if she really wasn't in the mood, and that would be our only warning: do not ask for anything. And that meant do not ask for anything. Just don't do it. And if you did, you were going to get spanked across the butt when you get home because you were warned. And that was that. And my mom knew I wanted that train simulator, but there was just no need. And because growing up, we really didn't, I didn't get a lot of computer time growing up. Um, I did spend a good time playing with my Matchbox cars and building road layouts and playing with that. And later on, I think post third grade, I had my Legos, so I play with my Legos a lot. I also spent a lot of time at my friend's house. I had a good friend that I'd go over every Friday night after school. Every Friday. Always looked forward to Friday. My mom knew the call was coming when Friday would roll around. Mom, can I go over Austin's house? But but yeah, and then that was just kind of my thing, and and we'd bike ride, and yeah, I go over Austin's house, my friend here, and we would play video games and whatnot. But we would go outside. We'd spend some time outside. My friend's dad, he would kick us outside, and he was like a dad to me. I mean, my friend's dad. He's the guy who left me this laptop too. So, um, sorry, I'm just having a moment here. He was my friend's dad. He was a great man, but I'm not trying to get caught up with that, but it was just I was not raised to spend a lot of time on the computer. Yeah, as I got older, of course, I spent more time on the computer and whatnot because you know gaming and games and what I like to do just growing up there wasn't really a lot for a young kid to do on the computer. I mean, I really alrighty, man. Well, we'll be here, so if you want to chip in any of our conversations, feel free to, because do enjoy talking to you. So we'll be here. Have fun at the work, I guess. So, but no, growing up, I mean, I don't want to say, oh yeah, I was around for the start of the internet. No, I was born in '96. I'm only 20, but I mean, I was around for the very early. I won't say the early development, but at least the birth of a lot of these major websites. I mean, I remember YouTube when YouTube got started. I mean, YouTube now compared to how it was, and I've seen pictures because it's just I like going through sometimes and just seeing how things were back then because I do miss I guess some of the nostalgia, honestly, and I guess that just happens when you get older. You're just kind of like, man, I kind of miss how things were back then, or maybe you don't. Sometimes you're like, man, I'm glad things aren't like they were back then. But there were just some things about growing up that I miss. But no, YouTube was a lot different then from how it is now, and I mean, and of course we can always get into this now age-old argument. Is YouTube better now than it was then? I mean, depends on how you look at it, honestly. YouTube then was just just a cool website to go to upload videos and express yourself and, do things. And there wasn't it was kind of just a video sharing place, like just a place to come to share, videos. That was it. YouTube wasn't more or less a community then than it is now. Yeah. Oh my God, E-Bombs World. That's old right there. YouTube was essentially that. And if you don't know what that is, I think E-Bombs World is still around. I want to say. I'm not sure. I have not visited that website in a long time, but that's essentially what it was. What YouTube was just kind of a funny place to go and share funny videos, and and even just kind of other videos of things and whatnot. Yeah, don't go to E-Bombs World then. Do not do that. Kind of sad to hear that, honestly, but no, I mean, I remember a lot of the internet coming around, and hell, some of you might know Club Penguin. I mean, hell, I was there for the first full month of Club Penguin when that first started. And I know it's gone now, and that kind of is depressing because that was also a big part of my childhood. Was me and my friend. Oh, we would. That's kind of how we got connected, was through Club Penguin. Because that was just something we did, and something similar, and we just started talking, hanging out, and boom, the rest is history. So Club Penguin actually did give me my best friend in the whole wide world, like my best friend. And actually, reminds me, I need to send him because he helped me. He actually helped me buy my car. He's my best friend. That actually helped me buy my car because his dad passed away, and his dad left some money. And I'm not saying that I used him for our finance, but used him because he has money. But I was stuck in a tight situation because the current car I had was dying. And I needed to get in a new set of wheels. I wasn't really working a great job, and I was trying to look for another job, but I'm running on a car that's running out of life, and I can't afford to fix it, and I can't afford to fix it because I need a job, and I can't get a job because I don't really have a set of wheels to go around to interviews and whatnot. So it was this whole big catch-22 and whatnot. So yeah, my friend, he actually lent me a fair bit of money, and I actually need to pay, like I said, pay him back. Send a payment to him today for that. And yeah, he helped me buy my Crown Victoria essentially. So without him, I wouldn't be in it. The Crown Vic is my dream car, so I wouldn't be in my dream car. So, but what was I saying? Oh yeah, so no, I've been friends with this kid for second grade. That was trying to think off the top of my head. Second grade. That was probably 12 or 13 years ago. 12, 13, or 4, at least anywhere between 12 or 14 years ago, in that ballpark range. Probably closer to 4. I would say easily 14 years, I believe. So yeah, we've been friends for 14 years. And that's just a long time, honestly, to be friends with anyone. But no, it's just awesome. But yeah, but no, growing up, like I said, I was outside. I wouldn't say every freaking day of my life, but I loved bike riding. I loved what else did I do? Yeah, I just loved bike riding, and that was essentially all I did. I just loved any form of transportation, honestly. Of course, the older you get, the better the things you get to drive, because I always wanted to drive. So the closest thing I could get to driving at 5 years old and 6 years old is a bicycle. So it just gave me my sense of freedom. So no, that was awesome. No, I don't want that. I think we're getting some building placement because I'm kind of getting tired of placing roads. So let's see what we got for buildings. Let's see here. I like this building. It reminds me of there's a building in St. Louis that looks kind of like this. What do you think? Keep it? Yay, nay? I think a yay. Could use it for like a like a library or something, or like a museum. I know it's a town hall, South Shields Town Hall. Oh, I don't want to roll the object. Question is placement. I think we're going to move this tower. I know I have an intersection there, but hold on a second. Actually, think we'll go back with the tower. Roll you over here. I'm going to move the police station. Because I kind of want it to be semi-visible from the train station. But no, like I said, saying the games that I did play growing up when I did get it, get on the internet, was I remember going to places like miniclip.com, which I think that's also still maybe around. Playing a lot of the games there. Club Penguin was obviously a big one. I love going to Club Penguin. That was just fun, really really fun. I miss that. I don't. I had a PlayStation. I had a PlayStation, the first PlayStation downstairs, and my mom very anti-violence. I couldn't play a lot of the shooting video games and whatnot, or anything really with any sort of violence in it. So, ooh, it's a nice old decrepit building, probably for a background scene. Yeah, hold on. There we go. Okay, I'm going to have to put that over because I want that down the track a little bit in that kind of slummy area. So we're going to keep this just down here. Just kind of set it down there. So I remember playing NASCAR Thunder 2003. And I kind of want to dig that game out because I don't remember. Cause I was trying to think to myself the other day because I have. Oh, I got to sneeze again. This allergy medicine is garbage because it is not working in any way, shape, or form. Because I'm trying to think to myself because I was playing NASCAR 2015. Yeah, 2015, and of course has a career mode, and I love career mode because I like painting my own cars. But I was trying to think to myself, I'm like, did NASCAR Thunder have a career mode? Because I don't recall if it did or not. I would kind of like to know, but I'll have to dig that out sometime. When I go back home, I'll have to see if I can't take the PlayStation back with me to Illinois. I'd like to relive some of the nostalgia of that old thing. But yeah, I played NASCAR. I had like the early, I had like Turismo Grand Prix. I had an early Forza. I think I had one of the first Forza video games. I think I had was Dirt. I think I maybe had Dirt or something like that. One of the rally car games. Maybe. I remember I had a later one in 2008 on the PS3, but I don't remember if I had the earlier one intersection over here for the the train station. But yeah, like I said, I didn't have a whole lot else. I had the NASCAR. I'm trying to think also what I had. Of course, my mom, she had some of the old school games that she grew up playing, like the arcade and whatnot, and the Atari and all those ones like Galaga, Pac-Man, and I think Dig Dug. Some of those old games, which are cool. I like those games. Definitely Galaga. Galaga's cool. Dig Dug was also pretty fun too, but no, like I said, I really didn't play a whole lot of video games and whatnot, and just wasn't how I was raised. So, but I was never bored. Always had something to do. I always remember that. Always had something to do. I was never very bored. I don't ever really remember being bored. So, let me see here. I like where it is. I can probably do some stuff with here and whatnot. I just kind of, like I said, I just want the base layout. I just kind of want to get a feel for this town and whatnot. And I'm kind of feeling a vibe. I'm feeling a pretty good vibe from this town. It just screams mediocre middle class America with a business feel. Like if you were a teenager growing up in the area and you have your license and there's nothing to do on a Friday night, you would probably just come down here to this town just to drive around and do absolutely nothing and just waste time. Or it could be like St. Louis and riddled with a ton of crime. And this would be the last area you'd want to be in at any part of the evening. What I'd like to do is I'd like some sort of like sports complex kind of nearby. Because like I said, in St. Louis, when you come across... yes, the red light district. But, because oh yeah, what I was saying, when you come across the bridge on 64 in St. Louis and you pass the arch, go past the first few buildings, you pass maybe like 2 city blocks, and then there's Busch Stadium right there in St. Louis. So I want to see if I have any sort of did I spell that right? Hey, what's this? Oh God, that's about as big as the city. What is it? It's huge. It's huge. That looks like it has some nice detail on. What's this? Looks like it has nice detail. Oof. Whoa. It's for a big boy. It's for a big bridge. I'll have to keep that in mind. KM Bridge. So... Ooh, a shopping center. Well, that's still huge. That's in Russian. It's nice, though. I like it. I like the style. I just wish it didn't have Russian writing on it. About football. Oh, that's cool. I don't think he doesn't mind for a high school football field and stuff, but that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Alrighty, well, yeah, I don't really think there's any good, like, sports field. Sports clubhouse, sports facility, sprint. Yeah, I don't really think there's, like, any good sports arena, in a sense. I'll have to take a look. St. Louis, Soulard. Never been down to... Actually, wait, have I been to Soulard? Yeah, I have been. I think I've been down to Soulard. But kind of put these buildings kind of off a little more over here. Kind of get on this side of the highway. Things just start to dissipate a little bit and kind of die off. Yeah, ooh, Union Station. Oh, yeah, I remember that. I was just looking at that last stream. So yeah, that's kind of the feel I'm getting for this town. It's coming along. I'm just kind of trying to see if there's anything I need to do, but I think I'm kind of burnt on that for the moment. So we're gonna widen the river. We're gonna widen this river out. How do I want to do this? So I kind of want it to come here and then make a curve. Kind of do our thing. I think we will kind of come along here because the boats don't need to go right here. I mean, kind of stay in the middle of the river. And I don't know if that bridge is going to be tall enough. We'll have to take a look at that here. I don't need to keep the road at a... I mean, you don't want to make the road like straight up, but I don't think it's going to make a huge difference if the road does have a steeper grade. Comes around. Then it constricts going under the bridge, which we don't really need to because... Like I said, they can just go into the middle of the bridge. Oh, careful, careful, careful. Careful, careful, careful. Let me see. Oh, God, no. Go, no, go back. Oh, so, also speaking of water, I was looking last night at one of the footage out of Houston. Pretty heartbreaking, actually, to see that. That's, quite, what am I trying to say? I feel quite bad for that community down there. All of Houston, really. I mean, it's just unbelievable to see that much water, honestly. It just sucks because it's like, you think about how this storm moved along, it's like it literally, if I recall correctly, it pretty much formed right there alongside Texas and then stalled out. It's kind of unfortunate, you know, and it's just been camping there over Texas for the past few days. Oh, your brother lives down there? Jeez. I have a coworker. He has family. I think he has 2 brothers down in Galveston or nearby. I think he said they were in the relative area of Rockport or something like that. And I know Rockport got nailed. Highish ground for Houston standards, but well, I'm glad he's all right. I guess. I mean, yeah, obviously if he's canoeing through his neighborhood, he's all right. But yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at all the images and whatnot. I mean, because I was watching I guess someone was streaming one of the local news stations down there, and they were showing all the traffic cams and just all the water. I mean, they said, you know, the water is. They could tell the water was going down, and the only way they knew it was going down because they could now see the rooftop of a car. I'm like, are you kidding me? That's how you can tell the water's going down, is now you can see the roof of a car. I mean, it's unbelievable. So the water got that high. I mean, it looked like an average-sized car, and my car is just a wee bit higher than an average-sized car. But still, I mean, my car would be underwater. I mean, I saw an image of a big rig. The water was up just almost above the windshield. And that's high. That's really high. Big rigs are pretty tall. So, but I was talking down in training yesterday because I guess Southwest, we have employees that are stuck at the airport. Still, you know, they're stuck at Houston Hobby. And they can't go anywhere. I mean, they showed some images of the airport. I mean, the airport's essentially underwater, you know, and And I feel bad for these people. I mean, they've been stuck at work and they can't get out. I mean, it's not I don't want to say it's they can't get out. Well, I mean, yeah, they really can't get out because the water and whatnot. But it's just like they're stuck at work. I mean, all joking aside, it's like that's the last place I want to be stuck at is at work. But you know, obviously they don't have a choice. So, but it's horrible to think about that. It's like you know they probably can't get out to go see you know if their family members are okay and whatnot. And I don't know how well communication is down there and whatnot. I mean, I'm sure if your brother's able to send video, I'm sure there must be some sort of okay-ish communication down there. I'm sure the phone lines aren't too jammed, but you know, it's just scary to think that those guys have been stuck there and potentially they could have maybe lost everything that they have. You know, and I mean, yeah, I'm hopeful that you know none of them have family members who potentially have died. I mean, the death toll is actually relatively low, which is a good thing right now. But yeah, I just hope for the best from you know my fellow Southwest, as we call them, cohorts and whatnot. I hope they're all right, and kind of hoping Southwest maybe does something here to maybe fly some of us down to Texas to maybe um, help out with the recovery effort. Because yeah, I mean that's one thing. It's like you know, are they going to run out of food and water? You know, there's gonna have to be a way to get all this stuff to them because obviously day-to-day shipments are jammed. You can't get delivery trucks down into Houston because there's no way to get them there. There's no way to get the trucks into Houston. I mean, looking at the way the forecaster was talking, he's saying the rain, according to one of the models, the rain should be moving out um, pretty quickly here from the way the models were showing. Um, Possibly by tonight, the rain should be moving out. It's a very good possibility. Um, they don't know yet, honestly. They really don't know. But it's just kind of it's really a wait game, really. That looks much better with the water filled in and whatnot. But no, it's like I said, I kind of hope that you know maybe my airline does something and sends us down there. And 'cause, I mean, hell, if I had it my way, I would love to be down there. Well, not love, but I'd just love to get down there and just help out, honestly. So I don't know what we're gonna do. I kind of doubt they'd send us because you know we're already so short staffed in St. Louis, and I don't know. I'm sure something's gonna come out of it, but yeah, it's just devastating. Really, really heartbreaking, honestly. Oh, nice wide river. I like it. How long have I been doing this? Started. I wish there's like some sort of timer telling me how long we've been going. All right, so the real thing I have to also ask too is, does this bridge work over here or up the way? Because I want this bridge to be upstream, kind of in Monroe. And see, this is kind of a moment where, also a side note, I would love to listen to my music, but I can't. Because I would love to sit here and listen to some Alice in Chains right now. But kind of can't do that. Or else YouTube's going to throw a hissy fit. and then they'll take my monetizing away, which, I mean, doesn't make or break me, honestly, if I lose my monetizing, but they kind of get all I could be hit with a copyright claim and da 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 da, and the next thing you know, I got, yeah, it's just a big hassle, and it's like, really, YouTube, really, really. More energy than it's worth, honestly. So why are these pillars deep, but these aren't? Because I think that really limits the height of the bridge, although that could work. I am using OBS, yes. And I wouldn't listen to it on my laptop because I can't get to iTunes right now, and I don't have the songs on iTunes. I do it through YouTube on my phone. It's just, I know there's sometimes, I think I used I was trying to pause Metallica before I hit the play button. I hit play, and then, yeah. Yeah, I'd have to exit Trainz to mute the desktop audio, so we'll just hang out and talk. But I will keep that in mind. I know I can set a hotkey to possibly do that, so. But yeah, I'll just wait. I think I've been going for a little while. Let's see, I can actually, because you messaged me when I was streaming, so I started at 11:07. It's now 12:41, so I've almost been going for roughly 2 hours. And I have nothing to show for it. So let's see. Bridge work over here. Let's see. I don't think it's going to be tall enough. Oh, yeah, that's tall enough. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, I have room for days. Oh, I don't want to move the bridge. I want to move the boat. Dang it. And then we'll move down the way. Oh, heck yeah. Wicked. We got room on this river. Cool. I was kind of worried about this bridge. I wanted this bridge to be used. I just punched the microphone. That's great. I should think my girlfriend's home. Yeah, I think she's home. Which would probably be a good time to end the stream. Yes, she is home. So I'm going to spend some time with her, if that's all right with you guys. So we're going to leave it off here. Do appreciate you guys for watching, because, yeah, 2 hours, I'm kind of bored at this point. So anyways, but yeah, I'll keep that in mind for next time, Joe, about the audio. And does anyone know what's up with this? I cannot overwrite existing session, but I can only do not save and create new. But anyways, guys, I will catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. Thanks everyone for showing up. And maybe stream tomorrow or later. Probably tomorrow at this point. Thanks for watching. See you.